Hello, everyone. My name is Suma Subramaniam, and I am a children's book author. My interests and passions in writing for children are mostly centered around STEM and STEAM related topics, as well as India and Indian heritage. And I'm a recruiter by day and I'm a children's writer by night. When I'm not writing or recruiting, I'm volunteering for Weenie Diverse Books, Diverse Verse, Sensations, SEBWI, and From the Mixed Up Files of Middle Grade Authors. I am the author of Namaste is a Greeting, She Sang for India, and other books for children and young adults. I live in Seattle with my family and a dog who watches baking shows. I have an MFA from Vermont College of Fine Arts, and you can learn more about me from my website, sumasubramaniam.com. And hi, Sandhya. Very, very nice to meet you here.
Hi, Suma. So nice to meet you, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And Sandhya, without wasting any time, I'm just going to go into the questions right away. First of all, if you can tell us about yourself, how did you get into writing and not only writing, but illustrating children's books? And how's your life behind the brush?
Okay. Thank you for having me. This is we're going to launch a book together. I've worked on Namaste, the book that you've just finished writing, and I'm so excited for our launch. A little bit about myself. I'm originally from Chennai, India, and I speak Tamil. I grew up there and I did my bachelor's in literature because I was always into storytelling and I'm an avid reader. And then I went and did my master's in animation and digital arts from NYU, which had a campus in Singapore. They don't exist anymore, but it was a great school. That's almost a decade ago. And after that, I've been working independently ever since. I've been working as an illustrator and animator, and I do a lot of children's books, but I also work on a lot of content for social media, like stickers, videos for companies, videos for movies. I've worked on Tamil and English movies. And now I live in California with my family. I have a 2-year-old. She's a large part of my life. I work from home, so sometimes the line gets blurry between work and this. And yeah, this is my workspace. I draw digitally with this. And that's how I created Namaste as well. Yeah.
Well, I'm really grateful and lucky to have you as an illustrator for Namaste as a greeting. It's a book of my heart, and you've really brought life into that character, little girl in Namaste. So, can you tell me about your experience illustrating Namaste as a greeting? I know we entered into the contract just right before the pandemic. And how did your illustration style evolve, as you illustrated Namaste as a greeting, and what aspects of that story brought you a lot of joy?
Thank you so much for your kind words first. It was a pleasure and an honor illustrating for this book. When Candlewick first sent me the script, I must admit that I saw the title and I panicked a little bit, thinking that it might be an entirely religious book because that's something that I shy away from. But I then realized that it's actually a poem about Namaste and its different meanings. And you'd explored it so widely that it felt like a very generic a story about empathy, about connection. And you'd also given us this direction, or that it should follow the story of a little girl. And so this approach was entirely mind-blowingly new to me. And I was really thrilled on reading the script, and that's how it started. The first thing that I did was I drew a sample page. And I started drawing the little girl that you had described in your little brief. And I tried to make her into a South Indian girl who also had a worldly sort of identity where she's not necessarily located in India, but not necessarily not either. So I wanted the illustrations to feel the same way your words felt, where they spoke to somebody who grew up with the word, but also spoke to people who use the word, who later learned the word, who feel what the word feels like. So it was exciting to design this world around this girl, which has characters from everywhere, which has characters who wear different clothing, who are joyous, who are sad, who are feeling different feelings, who are engaged in activity that is, very universal, very international also, where you can't really tell where her city is located or where these people are from, but they're all mingling together and in this daily life. They have different kinds of hair, different skin tones, they're of different age groups and different diverse body structures and so on. So you see this world through the eyes of this girl. And then we have our other character who's the older lady who lives opposite this little girl. And the contrasting emotions between these two characters and how their relationship evolves because of this little greeting, that it starts with a little greeting and how that drives the story, was incredibly fascinating. So I went on to design the rest of the pages after the first design came through and everybody was happy with it, you and the editor and so on. After that, typically every picture book follows a structure, where a process, where after the sample page, I'm now free to design thumbnail sketches for every page without panicking about what this character would look like. So once I do the colored sample page, it's like a frame that kind of helps me imagine the rest of the book. And then we go page by page. And once I finish all the painting, all the pages, we do the end papers, and then we do the covers. And then I get proofs in my hand, which are the printed pages to hold and then to browse and to see what corrections need to be done. And then it stands as a real book. So this is the process that I followed with Namaste as well. And it was thoroughly exciting.
That is wonderful. I know we went back and forth on, the storyline, and we tweaked as we went along, and that was great because I did not expect so much collaboration, but we had so much collaboration between us, and that was wonderful.
So Suma, I've been waiting to ask you this. What's your favorite spread from the book?
All of the pages are my favorite, and it's very, very hard to pick one. So for your sake, I've picked three, and I'll let you, talk about the one that both of us absolutely love. So I'm going to talk about the other two pages. So the first one is at the beginning when the girl, brings her hands together at her heart, and then when she meets the elderly neighbor for the first time, and then the neighbor waves back to her. And then towards the end of the book, you'll notice that there's a role reversal on that gesture on another page where the elderly neighbor brings her palms together and turns her loving attention to this little girl, while the little girl waves back at the elderly woman. So the story comes full circle, and it uncovers the power of mindfulness when the characters begin to harmonize and honor each other despite their differences. And that's the whole point of telling this story, and you brought it to life, Sandhya.
Thank you so much. That's really kind of you. We have a short span of time to tell a lot in a picture book. And so when you notice things like this, like where you have a role reversal and you see that the relationship's development is symbolized by that, that's a gift. That's a lot. That means a lot to me. That made my day. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I'd love for you to talk about the one that both of us love.
So that's the spread that's one of the first spreads that I worked on, where the girl is there and then her mother and she are walking through a marketplace and they see this plant shop full of lush and beautiful and green plants, sort of out of worldly looking. And then we see the girl's back and she's pointing to a plant that she wants, which is placed way above the rest of the plants. And then the shopkeeper is looking at it and asking, is that the one you want? And then the nice thing about this is that the story came together in such a manner that the girl finally buys a plant that looks a little lonely, a little away from the rest, is sitting there, not displayed as gloriously as the others. And she later befriends also the lonely old lady who's lives opposite her. And this is kind of like a foreshadowing of her character, where we see that she has this tendency to feel something towards those that go unnoticed and those that need to be seen, which is the essence of your book. And so that's the spread that I enjoyed working on the most.
And so wonderful. I think it has a lot of heart.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know what do you want children to take away from this book?
Namaste as a greeting is a search for truth, and it provides a deeper and authentic understanding of what it means to apply that word in everyday life. And it's also a call to action, for everyone to recognize the significance of words in their own culture and also those that are outside their own culture, and use them with, consciously and with empathy. So, children and young adults these days have a myriad of problems to face and overcome. I hope this book invites and encourages them to make friends within and outside their communities and discover ways to make human connections and realize the truth that we're all one when we live from the heart. So that's the essence, and I really hope children take away from this book.
That's really beautiful. Thank you for explaining that. Your words really speak whatever you explained right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for joining me on this call, Sandhya. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I wish we could just keep chatting more, but with the essence of time, we'll end this video here and we'll make another video if need be. And thank you everybody for listening in. We hope you enjoy Namaste as a greeting and share it with all the parents, teachers, librarians, and educators, and anyone you know.
Thank you so much. It was great chatting with you today. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Bye, Sandhya.
Bye.